Hi, family. I am back with you again this evening. I hope you're having a fantastic day. So, family, I'm coming to you because it is time. I just want to spend a few minutes together discussing this gender war. Family, we have got to get out of this phase and discussing this gender war. It is really doing something to our families, okay? Family, we are living in a time where we can no longer discuss that what happened in 1950 or 1960. I understand that sometimes we have to reflect on where we've gotten in order to process and build conflict resolution so that we can end up in a better place. But it is apparent we have 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds and 22-year-olds out here talking about the reason today in 2024 that there is a gender war between black men and black women is because in 1952, black women put their husbands out for welfare. Family, 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 family. It is time for this to be over. We have better things to spend our time on. We have better things to spend our thought processes on, our words, our actions, and behaviors. Family, we must put aside all of this negativity and nonsense. I'm just going to say it. There are a lot of um, different people, and it's not just men. There are a lot of men and there are also there are a lot of women, black women and men, that are bringing this argument back to the forefront every time we try to move forward. I want you to know, family, that until we leave this gender war in the past, in the dust, say with me, dust, we are going to be a people, a community, okay? Black people as a whole will be a people that will be left in the dust. We'll be left in the dust by other communities as we currently are, that are they are advancing economically and they are advancing in many other ways, but we are not. And the biggest come up that Black people need, Black Americans need, is economics. And we cannot do economics. We cannot bring economics into our community until we come together. We cannot, people. As long as we fight each other and hate each other and have issues with one another and gender war with each other, we will not be able to close the gap of wealth and bring economics to our families, to our communities. We won't because uh, we are fighting one another. Family, I would ask you and all Black families, men and women, to let this gender warring go. Talking about what happened in 1952 with our parents or grandparents that uh, took up welfare, okay? We don't know what happened before that. We don't know what occurred, um, you know, to lead up to that, we know that the white supremacists came into the black community in order to cause strife and to divide us, to cause division. And so they probably did offer the women or the families more money if the husbands left. We don't know how that, um, we don't know if some women decided to then request that their husbands leave the home, or if some men themselves just said, okay, I'll leave so that my family, since I can't find better work, since my family uh, will get more money. We don't know how that evolved and erupted. Okay, and my issue is this: before the welfare system came, before the child welfare or the child support system came, black families were doing just well, just fine. Black families were working together, they were building wealth, and we have many communities that prove this, that they were building wealth and they were coming together, to establish something great. And they did. They did. Our community came together. We had Black Wall Street. We had many other towns, Rosewood, that were towns that were doing well, that were Black ran, and Black people lived in these towns only, and they had black stores and black theaters and black banks and homes and millionaires. Black people, we were great. But then whatever occurred, then we allowed white supremacy in. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you what I think too. I think long before welfare came and asked uh, families to separate to take welfare, I believe that for a long time, Black men have felt defeated. I believe because they felt that they could not protect their families from the slave master or their wives and their children, that they felt defeated. But, brothers, I'm here to tell you there's not necessary. We love you, sisters love brothers, and black women love black men, regardless of what happened hundreds of years ago, or in the 1800s, in the 1700s, in the 1900s, the early 19. Sisters love brothers regardless. I'm sure brothers, many brothers love sisters. We have evolved to a community that has an appearance of hating one another, men hating women, and the women hating men. Family, we can't go on like that. And for all those silly, silly, ignorant Negroes, whether you be male or female, that believe that as a black community, that we can rise and that we can prosper by hating one another, then you, I would say, are a fool. That's what I would say. Those of you that think that the way to go is to continue with this gender war, this is stupidity above all else. We cannot, right now, we have to build back trust with one another. We do. Um, there's been so many things that have occurred within our own community. I don't care about anybody else's community. I could care less. but I do care about the Black community. And so right now we are dealing with crises, and we have to deal with crises the way crisis is dealt with. You cannot put a band-aid on a bullet wound. So we have to deal with it by determining, you know, what caused the trauma and deal with that. That's first and foremost. And then after you deal with what caused the trauma and you begin to deal with that, then we have to make an open effort not to continue to keep revisiting that, to move forward and to press on and to do better. Black men tell Black women to choose better. Well, I say that sometimes we have to also do better. And I am talking to my real Black men. Because anybody else, you can go head on. I'm talking to my real Black men and saying and asking you to please let us build together again. You. So many of you, those that are narcissistic, like to throw up a woman not having her father in her life. And this is how she makes the decisions that she's made. You're correct. You're right. This is why a lot of men make the decisions that they make. They didn't have their dads in their lives either. But we can't blame the custodial parent for what the non-custodial parent didn't do. Sometimes there are mothers that do bar their children's father from having a relationship with their children. They are. They just are. And it's horrible. But sometimes, many times, often, we have men that are out there telling women to have their babies, but they didn't want to marry that woman. Or they're out there like the dad who has the 7 baby mamas and the 7 children, and then he says, I told him I didn't want no children. Well, why didn't you wrap it up? You should have put it in something, or you shouldn't have put it in anything, and then you wouldn't have 7 children. In those cases, I have to say, yeah, that is what child support is for. And in fact, yes, so many of you don't believe that a man's driver's license should be taken or he should go to jail for child support. But when you have children and you're not making every effort in this world, now, if the mother is hindering your effort or not adhering to what the court has ordered, I would tell any father, take her ass to court. And if possible, file for custody. Yeah, I know the courts are against Black dads getting their children, but let it go on record that you did it. Let it go on record that you tried to get custody of your children, that you tried to get your children to where they could spend 50% of the time with you. Let it go on the record so that they can always go back and see my dad did file for joint custody for me. My dad wanted me. But we have a lot of people, mothers and fathers, that don't want to be parents. We have mothers that are not raising their children, and the fathers are. In those cases, I too believe the mother should be paying child support. Yeah. Whether you want it or not, it's not for you. It's for the children. That's what matters. It's for the children. I just say, Black family, we have to do better than we've done. We are lagging behind everyone. We are the last. And I'm going to say that so many men are trying to school and guide the women. No, sir. No, sir. Guide the men first. Guide the men first. Because if you guide the men first and they begin to get in line, the women will have no choice or they'll get left. They'll get left behind. But if you are out here causing detriment to the community, you have no say so over the next moron causing detriment to said same community. You don't. Because the two of you are a detriment to the community. And it's time for us to come together and stop allowing outside forces to gain entry into our affairs. It's time. It's time for Black Americans to be completely self sufficient. It is time for Black Americans to even become and begin to make moves to be separate. You can call it whatever you want to, segregation, whatever you want to call it. I just call it separation. It's time for us to be with like minded people. We have already determined and established that we have no friends, that there is no one coming for us. There will be no one coming to assist us in our war. We've already established this. There's no need to even go further with it. So now we just have to uh, move in certain ways and begin to build together and begin to separate ourselves and begin to build our own, because this is what it's Black people, it's necessary. In case you didn't know, you are at war. There was a whole white supremacist who just called himself going to start a race war. How? By showing up in Atlanta, Georgia at a rap um, show where he was going to try to shoot people, mass kill Black people. Black men, that tells me this: we don't have time to worry about weave and wigs. We do not have time, Black men, to worry about eyelashes and lipstick and women wearing makeup. We don't have time for that. Our time would be better spent preparing and getting ready. I'm always seeing every day on certain websites, and you can even find them on YouTube, of white men talking about the race war and about what they're going to do and telling Black men, get ready because they're coming for you. Okay? Black people, we don't have time for the foolishness, the tomfoolery, the nonsense. We don't. It is time to come together and to prepare ourselves for what's coming. Unless you want to be game. So, family, I love you all. I love my Black men. And I love my Black women. I love you all. I love my Black people. And I pray that we will pull it together and come together because it's time before it's too late. I love you, Black family. Please be blessed, take care, and have a beautiful rest of your evening. Sleep well in harmony, and may the Most High protect each and every one of you, watch over you, and bring us close again as we once were. Please subscribe, please share, and please leave a comment and let me know what your thoughts are. Thanks so much, family. Take care and be blessed. Bye bye.